So there's this theme of obedience right now in my life. Always, but it's very heightened right now. Like it's, you ever have those times or seasons where it's like there's like a repetitive theme, a repetitive correction, a repetitive focus that you're supposed to be learning about or you are supposed to be focused on in this time. And mine right now is obedience and really understanding and realizing what that is, what that looks like, how to live that out. And it's something that I want to do. I want to be in the will of my Father. I want to do God's will here on this earth. I don't want to live for my own selfish reasons, and I can't anymore, honestly. And I think that's why this is so intense right now, because anything that I try to do, that I'm striving for, that I'm pushing forward on my own, ends up crushing me. It's too heavy. I can't bear it. And I just basically, I don't want to do anything without the Lord, which is hilarious because I never understood that for a very long time. And these past like 2 years have really, it's shown true. So anyway, the theme for me is obedience right now. And I'm actually doing a study with a friend by Priscilla Shirer, the Discerning the Voice of God. And the first chapter is all about obedience, of course. But it's so good. And she really breaks it down in such a palatable way. But I've been convicted a little bit this week of how often that when I feel like God's calling me to do something or telling me, maybe nudging me, maybe it's just something that's like persistent in my life, but how often I will delay that. And I think it's important, this next thing that I talk about, like praying over God's will in our lives, right? Prayer is so important. It's such a crucial part of our walk as Christians and our relationship with the Lord. Let me just say that 1,000% up front. Prayer is powerful. It's so much of what we need in our walk with Christ. And how often I delay my obedience with the excuse of, well, I just got to pray about it. Now, we should always pray about it. That is an always thing, yes. And I get that. That is always true. And sometimes, let me just tell you, there have been things, small things, like making these videos and a few other things that I had a dream about over 2 years ago. And I have been arguing back and forth with the Lord for 2 years and saying, well, I'll keep praying about it. I'll keep praying about it. And then here comes a friend and brings up the very thing that I've been praying about. And then here's another validation. Here's another sign. And here's another thing. And I'm still just praying about it. And it's like, Scripture says that God is searching the earth for people of faith who will have enough faith so that he can use us, because God, for whatever reason, chose to partner with us. He chose to partner with people. Yes, he can do all things. He is sovereign. He is all power. He is majestic. He is everything. So he can snap a finger, he can speak a word, and things change. Absolutely. We've seen it in Scripture. And at the same time, he chooses to partner with us, to intervene in each other's lives, to pray, to intercede, to impact each other. And he's looking for people of faith, enough faith to trust and obey, that when he speaks, we just do. So one of the things that I wrote down at the beginning of this week in this study, it was just a statement that she said, and it was that God doesn't speak to be heard, he speaks to be obeyed. And that's not in the sense of like, obey me now. It's true. He's telling us these things, not for maybe we benefit from it because he's so good and faithful and amazing at being able to do all things for our good and his glory. But he needs us to do things in the earth because people need some hope. People need some love. People need to know Christ. People need help. Including myself. Often. It mind boggles me. And there have just been reoccurring, stories of people who have like taken the time to seek the Lord in even some of the most mundane decisions, like what store do I go to, what store should I go shopping at, what road do I take. And I know some people might be like, you're kind of overdoing it, it's kind of making everything too spiritual. But let me tell you, it's all spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Everything is. And the more that we live our entire lives, every decision surrendered to the Lord, the more he is able, our hearts soften, right? And become sensitive, because we're almost like on alert. We're searching. We're like, okay, what are you trying to do? Where's your hand? Where are you guiding me? Let me hear your whisper, right? So we're like readying our hearts enough so that when he does speak, we hear him. But then here comes the next step, is we do it. And it's funny because it sounds so simple, and yet I realized this week just how difficult I have made obedience. Like, again, I'm just going to keep using this like simple example until I'm ready to share anything else, but like of making these videos. I'm telling you, it's been over 2 years. I had a dream about a lot of specific things, and I just, at the time, and it makes sense, I was like, who am I? But even now, I still think, like, I argue with the Lord. I take this, it's an everyday thing. Make a video. You need to make a video. You need to start talking. You need to get on there. You need to make a video. And I'm like, and I'll be hearing this all day. And I'm like, but what am I going to say? What am I even like getting on here to do? Like, it makes no sense to my brain. It really makes no sense in even who I am, because I hate this. I hate talking in front of people when a camera is looking at me the way that it is, and I can't like see myself and all the things. I get weird. And most times, which right now we're feeling pretty groovy, right? Because the Lord is here. But most times I forget who I am. I forget how to talk. I get crazy. And as you see, I do a lot of this. I've been called out for that. Like, it just gets weird. So I have like, it's a simple instruction. Make a video. But all I've been doing is just arguing back, when really, if I just put it in perspective, it doesn't matter if these videos ever get seen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. The outcome of anything does not matter. It is what he says, and what do I do with it? Because he is trying to do something, whatever that means, whether that's for somebody to see any of these, or he's just working on me right now, getting comfortable here, or just working on the obedience factor. I don't know. But how difficult I make obedience when it doesn't feel right, or it doesn't quite make sense, or I don't know. And it's just like, I'm over it. Because then when I start talking about it, like a lot of the stories that we focused on in this week of the study was Abraham and having to sacrifice his son, or being told to sacrifice his son. And when we read this story, we see that God tells Abram this, and then is like, it says he wakes up the next morning with I'm adding in this like little detail, but with the prepared wood, with the 2 donkeys he had to have. He had 2 other people coming with him. Like, he had to plan all this the night before he woke up the next morning, so that he was ready and prepared to be obedient to the Lord. And then I'm like, man, that is one of the hardest things that probably any human would ever have to be told to do. And yet he did it because he trusted the Lord enough that something was going to happen. He didn't know how it was going to happen. He didn't know if the whole thing had to go through. He didn't know. He did it anyway. And I'm like, I am so convicted that if a man can trust the Lord enough to follow through, to prepare, and still obey one of the hardest things probably any human would ever have to be told to do, and I'm over here arguing about a video? I am not that girl. We are not doing that. We are making these videos because the Lord said so. So don't make it so difficult. When you feel what the Lord is telling you to do, whether it's something that's just repetitive, constantly like you're just feeling it, it's just an impression that's happening, you're hearing things, there's a lot of people bringing up these things that you're like, no way, are you saying this? Just do it. Just do it. Whether it makes sense, whether you're comfortable with it, just do it, because it's either your heart needs something transformed through this, or there's somebody's healing on the other side of your obedience. And the more that we hold back, all of that gets put on hold. Every single bit. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, especially now that I'm like seeing it in this light, like such a little thing in such a grand scheme, keeping me or somebody else from knowing the Lord deeper. I will not stand in his way of his will. No longer. And you have a video to prove it. This day, I will no longer stand in the way of his will. I want to do his will. So, basically, stop making obedience so difficult. It's simple. Get in the Word. Pray. Sit still with the Lord. Ask him to reveal whatever it is that needs to be revealed to you today, for today, and sit and listen and wait. And when things pop up, because I do this, don't rationalize them out. Just do it. And I saw a thing about Christine Caine. I might have said this in another video, but she made this statement of just like, if you feel like God is telling you something, whether it's like a random moment or it's something that's consistent, if you feel like it's God that's telling you something, obviously, like, if it aligns with his word, right? We're not like doing something we probably shouldn't be doing. But if it aligns with his word, just do it. And if maybe you were wrong and that wasn't the Lord, he's gonna redirect you anyway. Like, he's just be like, my bad. I tried, right? I think he smiles upon the try anyway. And he's gonna guide you. He's just that good. He just wants you to take a step. He wants you to just do the thing. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. And I hope that that's what you're gonna be doing. And let's be obedient, y'all. Love ya.